Welcome to Andy Decodes. Sit back and enjoy as we dive deeper down into the rabbit hole and into the unknown.
Hello, welcome to today's show. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, good whatever, wherever you are in the world. Joined by Nicole, co-host, and the wonderful Paul Bartholomew. Welcome to the show, Paul.
Paul Bartholomew studied UFOlogy, Cryptozoology, and Parapsychology for over 5 decades. He's the co-author of Bigfoot Encounters in New York and New England and the mysterious Northwoods. Graduated from Castleton University, where he studied under Warren Cook, who wrote the Foreword for Monsters of the Northwoods. Bartholomew has appeared in numerous television, news programs, and documentaries, lectured at libraries, schools, colleges, and appeared on Coast to Coast AM. You wrote and lobbied for historic legislation in your hometown to protect the Sasquatch, and you continue to research, investigate, and write. So you are a busy, busy man. Can you hear us?
Can you hear us? Hi, Paul, can you hear us?
A busy man who cannot hear us.
No, I don't think he can. Can anyone in the chat hear us? Anybody?
Well, I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes, right, yeah. So everyone at home can hear us. Just let me message Paul and I'll get in to see if he can come back in.
Well, while waiting on that, is everybody ready for Christmas?
No, I've still got shopping to do.
I did most of mine today and last night. Nothing
I've
like wait till last minute.
I've done 98%. I've got 2 things to get, and that's it. I'm done.
Nice.
It's on. I was gonna get them on Amazon because it's my go-to place, but I was because it's not everything's next day, so I was kind of worried that if I order it, it's going to come after Christmas.
I just specifically picked things on Amazon that said like will get here before Christmas.
Yeah, well, that's what I was looking at, but they didn't have what I wanted. Do you know what? This was working fine because we was chatting.
Yep.
And as soon as it went live, it just stopped.
Right.
I have messaged him.
Oh, he's muted now. He's unmuted.
Yeah. Let me check my settings on here.
Can you hear us? That's my attempt at sign language.
Oh. No. There we go. Right. Hopefully he'll go and come back.
Yeah.
While we're waiting, do not miss Fridays. Friday. Oh, yeah. I'm so excited.
I know.
So excited. And the fact that we've got the things ready for what we're going to be doing is even better. Because
What
I
are
was
the
a bit, I was like,
tips?
I'm going to go and I'm not going to be able to find this anywhere. I'm
That's
going to
what I
be
was
like
thinking.
100 shops deep and nothing.
Mhm.
And then I went into the supermarket yesterday and they had one left.
Nice.
I'm like, oh my God. And I was
I went to
panicking.
Walmart today.
Picked it up. Right.
That was my own Christmas shopping. That was my own Christmas gift.
Yeah. Same.
Mhm.
Right. Is there anything you want to talk about while we wait for Paul?
Jojo's giving out free popcorn. I want popcorn.
We should.
I'm reading the messages.
I like sweet and
Dog man said.
sweet and what was it? I can't think. Sweet and salty.
Mm. Yeah, I got a bag of that popcorn that has like the Oreo cream and like the chocolate drizzle on it. That's good.
Oh, we don't get anything exciting like that.
Oh.
We get toffee, salted, sweet, or sweet and salted, or plain.
It's America. We need 6 million types of popcorn.
Yeah, we actually do. You get like none. No, I think it got cheese and onion once, but it wasn't very nice.
I'm gonna have to make you a care package of all the weird American snacks. Send it
Yeah,
over.
there is a shop near me that does like the American sweets and all that, but it's just so expensive.
I'm sure.
Swedish fish are the best.
Swedish fish.
They're so hard.
You can't
Yeah,
get those
they're
over
so
there?
hard to get over.
Oh,
Now and again.
I
We're
can
back.
hear you.
I don't know what happened, Paul. I do apologise.
oh, that's okay. That it was everything was fine, and then when you went to the intro, everything went silent. So, but
Yeah, I don't know. I checked my settings and there was nothing on there.
Oh my
And I
gosh, you
thought
have
the only
a
thing we
lot
could
of
do
books.
was message her. Yeah, we're just talking about popcorn and how
Mhm.
little flavours we've got in the UK. So
okay.
it's all right. Right. So do you want to redo the introduction? Just
Again?
so Paul can hear. Yeah, if you don't mind. You don't have to.
Hold on. Yeah. Hold on. I'm going to paraphrase this time.
That's fine.
So, Paul Bartholomew has studied UFOlogy, cryptozoology, and parapsychology for over 5 decades. He's the co-author of Bigfoot Encounters in New York and New England, The Mysterious Northwoods. He graduated from Castleton University, where he studied under Dr. Warren Cook, who wrote the foreword for Monsters of Northwoods. Paul has appeared on numerous television, news programs, and documentaries. He lectures at libraries, schools, and colleges across the Northeast and has appeared on Coast to Coast AM. In 2003, he wrote and lobbied for historic legislation in his hometown to protect the creatures called Sasquatch and for the town to be a protective habitat. And Paul continues to research, investigate, and write about anomalous phenomena out of his hometown of Whitehall, New York.
Cool. So welcome to the show, Paul.
Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
I was saying before, you are a very, very busy man. You've done a lot of things.
Well, I've been in this a long time, and it started when I was very young, and it just obviously I'll be doing this forever.
Yeah. So I'm guessing you enjoy doing all this.
Yeah, it's always been a passion, and I was always interested in paranormal phenomena, be it the UFO phenomena or cryptozoology. And then we had big incidents that occurred in my neck of the woods here in the Northeast. I live in Whitehall, New York, which used to be called Skeensboro. And this is about 5 miles from the Vermont border. We're in upstate New York. We're about 2 hours or so from where Whitley Strieber's cabin that he had the communion experiences place. And so this is a very historic area. You know, you go a couple states over and you're in the White Mountains of New Hampshire. And that's where Betty Hill had her remarkable encounter in the 60s. and fortunate to meet Betty and correspond with her briefly. So yeah, this has been a nice area to grow up where we have this type of paranormal phenomena. And in the 70s, we had a massive UFO flap over here in 1973. And there was a major landing case that occurred about a half an hour from where I live. And then in 1976, we had a major Bigfoot outbreak, which also had ties to the UFO phenomena. And that was right in my hometown of Whitehall. So I think it's a combination of being interested in the topic and having all sorts of phenomena occurring right in this region.
Do you have any theories about, like, because I'm like 2.5, 3 hours from you, right by Pine Bush, where it's a major UFO hotspot. Do you have any theories about like why this area of New York has so much activity?
I don't know, but it is the case. And obviously, Dr. Hynek's last book was about the Westchester County sightings with a night siege with Phil Brogno and Bob Pratt. And so that entire Westchester County was besieged by objects. I think it was over 5,000 reported cases. So you can bet that the actual number was even higher. And that's right here in in this New York region. And of course, yeah, I think it's one of those things where we have to just state, well, that seems to be the case. And, that I remember tracking these objects back in the 80s, the early 80s up in this region, the triangular objects that just went all over the Northeast. It was back in November of 81. And the objects went through Vermont and went to Pennsylvania and back down to New York City. And they were tracked on radio stations and police agencies and big articles in the papers the next day and so forth. So yeah, that's this is an area that's had a rich history of this type of phenomena.
Sure.
So do you think a lot of it is coming over from like the Canadian border because of how close? Because obviously New York borders Canada. I don't know anywhere above that. Don't really know anywhere below it either. But I know it's like Buffalo, isn't it? Is the border of like the US and Canada.
We're about 4 hours from Montreal. So right.
Oh, right. Okay.
So this whole area would be the we have the Adirondacks and this vast area in New York State that's often overlooked. When people considered, for instance, the Bigfoot phenomena, they always seem to associate the Pacific Northwest and state in British Columbia and so forth. But the reality is that the Bigfoot phenomena, when we traced it here, goes back to the Algonquin and the Iroquois Native American groups. And they had legends of stone giants, giant men of the mountains. The Samuel Champlain wrote about the Gugu, which was a creature that the Indians had told him about. And so there's this rich history here, whether it be Wendigos or whatever. And so, yeah, while we sort of associated when I was growing up, Bigfoot being out west, I never thought that, we have a rich history right here. And then in 1976, we had a major landmark Bigfoot outbreak on a road in rural Whitehall called Abair Road. That's ABAIR. It was a name, not the animal. And that there were several police agencies that were involved in that sighting over a week-long period. And when we look at that report, if we want to examine that report, the first article that came out, or actually the second article, occurred in the Post-Star, and the headline was "Officers Track Creature" on the front.
Right.
And it talked solely about this Bigfoot encounter that took place, where basically 3 teenagers encountered a creature. This is really capsule summarizing it, and reported it to the police. The police sent out, units to investigate. We had a Washington County deputy sheriff. We had a New York State trooper. We had Whitehall police all responding to investigate. And over a week-long period, this would have been August of 1976, August 24th. Over a week-long period, we had perhaps as many as a dozen witnesses to this phenomena and this creature phenomena. And the creature was described as being about 7 to 8 feet tall, walking upright like a man, but looking like a gorilla, being hair covered, having red glowing eyes, and giving off a sound that sounded like a woman screaming or a pig squealing, very high pitched vocal. And this creature, these reports of this creature went on for about a week until on one of the alternate roads, one of the adjoining roads, I should say, Carver's Falls Road, there were 2 hunters who said they shot at the creature that came at them. And that was actually entered into the police logbook, which I held in my hands. And they said that these 2 people, they just mentioned one in that, shot at a huge creature that came at him on Sea Falls Road, which is Carver's Falls Road, notified New York State Police. New York State Police went out, found a shotgun shell at the site, but didn't see anything else. So that seemed to be where the Abear Road incident kind of ended, that week-long frenzy. And so, but you see, we've got this one newspaper clipping that talks just about the Bigfoot encounter. But if we looked at the Rutland Herald, and I'm on the border of Vermont and New York, the Rutland Herald would be the Vermont newspaper closest to me. They talked with this headline talking about UFOs at the same time as the creature outbreak. That's often overlooked. And it turns out that there was a massive UFO flap going on at the time of this creature outbreak. In fact, I talked with the Whitehall dispatcher who was on duty that evening. His name was Bob Martell. And that was a great job back then, because you would basically, you're at the police station, you watch TV, you handle a couple of calls. That was your whole night. I mean, it was it was a nice night, or a nice job to have. And Bob told me he got a call. He couldn't remember if it was a week before the Abear incident or a week after, but it was right in the same vicinity. He got a call inside the village of Whitehall. And the woman said something landed on her lawn. Now, they're only a couple streets away, so they jumped in the police car and went over. And when they got there, she said it just took off. She said it was right there. And where she pointed to was this 20, 25 foot circular patch of matted down grass where something had touched down. And I remember Bob Martell said he went over and placed his hand close to it, and he could still feel heat coming off of where something had landed. So one of those strange encounters, one of these strange incidents where we have the UFO phenomena and the Bigfoot phenomena occurring simultaneously.
Yeah. So do you find that a lot then, that with these Bigfoot sightings, that there's pretty much always a UFO sighting?
I don't know if I classify it as a lot, but it's enough that it pops up time and time again. You note from the history of Fortean phenomena, when you go back to John Keel and Brad Steiger, who really put this type of connection back in the 60s. And you look, they were noting it back then. It took me a good 50 years to catch up to where they were. And I was fortunate to work with Brad on a couple of chapters and things. And Brad, I always had great respect for, because he had an understanding of what this whole phenomena is, on a whole, the whole umbrella here. And we have a mental, I think it's our mental makeup, or how we're wired. We want to put things in a nice, neat box. I mean, I have filing cabinets here in this is my library. And I've got things classified so that I can get to them. But the reality is that it's a much more blended phenomena, much more blended enigmas, and that it's hard to actually categorize certain cases into just one, the UFO box, the Bigfoot box, the whatever box. And a lot of times we have cases that have run the full gambit, and we're touching on cryptozoology, ufology, and parapsychology all at once.
Cool.
Paul, did you grow up in Whitehall?
Yep.
Or did you?
I grew up on a farm, and that was one of the things that helped us when we started to researched this vicinity, this area, because that's where we started. Back when I started researching this, John Green's book, The Apes Among Us, classic, terrific book on the subject. I still regard it as perhaps one of the top books ever written on the topic. Back when we started researching, I think there were like 11 cases for New York State, something like that. And so we basically put New York State under a microscope and began getting report after report after report and documenting hundreds in the New York, Vermont area and so forth. So I think that's the reality, is that you could take almost any area, and if you put enough effort into it, you will turn up reports of these creatures. And so it's a very interesting phenomenon, and it's one that's very historical in the sense that it's documented. You go back into those archives of records, and you will find these types of reports, and they will use interesting vernacular. For instance, when the A-Bear Road incident happened, they talked about red glowing eyes. But if you go back into the older reports, you will see references to the eyes were like burning embers. In other words, they're describing the same phenomena, but in a different vernacular. Yeah. So an incredibly historic phenomena. It's very consistent. And whether you're a believer, a skeptic, whatever, it really doesn't matter. It's important to study, because from an ethnical, anthropological point of view, it's important to understand what this phenomenon is. Why are we seeing these creatures?
Yeah. I've got a question. What do you consider was the most difficult in your studying? What was the most difficult thing for you to get your head around, to like make any sense of it all?
Yeah, I think my I had a gradual conversion to the fact that the phenomena were somehow connected, and it may not be as much a direct connection as it can be just in the essence of the phenomena itself, the source, what we're looking at. For instance, I always give the example because it's real easy to understand, because some of the concepts, you know, that like Michio Kaku uses, you know, you really need to apply theoretical theorems to them to understand them. You know, you can't really conceive of something going on forever unless you attach a number line to it. And then you can say, oh, forever in each direction. I can understand that now. With this, I would say that it may be tied up with states of matter and the source that we're looking for. For instance, everybody can agree water exists, but if I were to describe water, there's a plethora of different descriptions I could use for it, like a lake, a bubbling river, a placid lake, you know, a turbulent ocean. And so that's one way to describe it. But if I were to take that same source, and now that source is H2O. So if I take that same source and I cool it, all of a sudden, all those different descriptions would change, because now I would have something that was finite, something that was solid, something that was ice. Where before I could take the water and refresh myself with it, now I would, you know, hit myself with ice. It would be completely different in the description. And yet it's the same source. We're still talking H2O. So now if we heat it up into, you know, degrees, it becomes fog. So now it's affecting different senses. And yet we're still dealing with the same source phenomena. And I think that's probably where my research has headed over, you know, it took a long time to get there, but you know, I think one of the advantages I have is I don't have any dog in the fight. If this is explainable, I'm fine with it. If it's not explainable, I'm fine with it. You know, some people seem to commit to, it has to be Gigantopithecus, it has to be paranormal, it has to be this. Not that way. I'll take it as it comes, and I want to get this information down and record it as accurately as possible. And this is sort of the direction I think the field has evolved into.
Yeah. Do you not find though that with all the phenomenon, the paranormal, whether it's Bigfoot, Dogman, fairies, UFOs, the rake, whatever, do you not think that it's just always been here and it's part of every day. It's just that some people are more open to it than others, and and certain people have have a better link to it than most. I'm coming to that conclusion, to be honest, that it's always been here. It's part of every day. We just need to open our eyes to it more and
Some people are
accept
more
it.
in tune.
Yeah, that's it. I can't work it out. Can't remember the word.
Yeah, I think you're dead on with that. I think that was well spoken. Certainly, some people are more sensitive to this. I might look for something that someone else might not, because I've done this for a long time, and you know, and I think that it's like with the Bigfoot phenomena. If I trace the Bigfoot phenomena, I can go back to the Algonquin, the Iroquois. You know, we're going, you know, hundreds of years, and then you go to Chinese, thousands of years, and so forth. If I were to take the chupacabra, that one actually has like a starting point. About the mid 90s is when that sort of took off. Now, you may be able to get a case from a few decades earlier, but it's not like it was in the mid 90s. So that seemed to have sort of a beginning. The Bigfoot phenomena seems to go back so many centuries.
Yeah.
So how has like your work?
Sorry.
How is you know, your work and your research kind of changed as technology has advanced? Because you've been doing this a really long time. So before internet and all of that.
Yeah, that's you know, it probably took a toll on my eyes going through microfiche, which now you just do a search engine and it's there. Back when I was researching the Che Ren, or the wild man, and we got a picture here of one of the journals that Dr. brought back from China of their creature, and of course wild man, and that's the Che Ren. When I was researching with some of the Chinese scientists, that would be an arduous process of mailing envelopes to China, waiting for quite a while for them to come back with different material, and then translating. And, you know, all this stuff is instant now. So, yeah, we went through a long time of that, going through a newspaper clip service and getting the clippings and then Xeroxing them and sending them to other researchers, and they would send you their clippings. That's how this has evolved to now. It's just instant. I just hit a link and boom, it goes to whoever the group is, and they all get the information fast. So, yeah, we've made a lot of, I mean, with everything. We've made a lot of advances. So yeah, I'm from the dinosaur age of research, I suppose. I remember carbon paper. So.
Oh yeah, you're right on, and it goes through. Yeah.
Do you think now that information is more like readily available, there's going to be a lot more major breakthroughs?
I think it's a double-edged sword. I think though that as long as we're getting the information out as accurately as possible, and unfortunately, you know, there's a lot of junk that's mixed in as well that's not accurate, but as long as the information gets out as accurately as possible, and you can get it filtered and separate the, you know, the wheat from the chaff and all that stuff, yeah, I embrace any type of technology. Yeah, that's fine with me.
Yeah. So do you keep your original, so obviously when it was all documented on paper and that, have you kept all your original copies and that from like day one?
Oh yeah.
You've not thought, I'll get rid of them because I can do it all digital now?
No, I've got I probably got everything I've researched over 50 years here. Yeah, I've got a that's set up in my upstairs, and that's where the books are from behind. If we turn this way, you can see the filing cabinets and so forth.
Oh my God! Wow.
I got
just a couple.
What's that?
Me or Nicole?
Didn't say anything.
Oh, I said just a couple of filing cabinets there.
Yeah.
Got a few questions for you. Is that all right? I'll do the first one. So this one is from Nickname, one of the moderators, and she's asking, where, in Paul's opinion, is a hotspot for phenomena, and can you explain the factors? Thank you.
Yeah, that's interesting. There do seem to be flap areas and hot spots. Like you had said, Pine Bush seems to have actually embraced the phenomena in terms of UFOs. In terms of the Bigfoot phenomena, obviously places like Whitehall, my hometown, has embraced it, and now it's not shameful to have an encounter. You can report it with a bunch of other respectable people who've also had similar encounters. So yeah, I think it's kind of a mesh where it's part that we're aware of it. We become knowledgeable about this phenomenon in this region. And it's also a fact that it's fairly treated, where back in the 1970s, this was a negative for all the witnesses. They had everything to lose and nothing to gain. And if you were law enforcement, you didn't talk about it. And that was 1970s. Now we've come sort of full circle here. So I think Whitehall is a great spot because that stigma seems to be removed. And, people want to learn about sightings that have occurred and particularly recent ones. So, yeah, it's Whitehall be a good area, Pine Bush, good area, Westchester County for quite a time was a big UFO haven. Places like Whitley Strieber's cabin, like that. I'm sure there's huge places like Skinwalker Ranch in Utah that George Knapp's done incredible research with that. So yeah, there's areas all over the place, and I think it's just a matter of doing research, and you'll find these areas will emerge.
So speaking of Whitehall embracing the whole Bigfoot Sasquatch thing, I saw that they have a Sasquatch festival and a Sasquatch calling contest. Have you ever participated in that?
Yeah, I give a talk there. There's different researchers that come up, Mike Steve Culls, different researchers have come up to give talks there, and so forth. And what we do is now it's sponsored by a woman named Barbara Spohr. And originally, what it was, there was a fellow that had read about a mosquito calling contest. Dave Molinar had read about it, and he's passed on now. But he said, we've got Bigfoot here. Why don't we have a Bigfoot calling festival? And Barbara Spohr has evolved this into a huge festival, and Emily Fleur and so forth. And so it's become a great time every year now that people gather, and they have it's kind of a happy family atmosphere where there's rides and things like that, but there's also talks and some serious discussions, and then they culminate with this calling, and people come out and they do their best Bigfoot vocalization, and so it becomes this fun event that people have participated in every year now, and now I think we've gone on 7 or 8 years. I've given a talk at each one, and I hope to continue to do that. But I mean, it's a great way for the area. I think part of it was back in the 2000s when we started doing documentaries on this region. It was bringing more enlightenment to this location. And then when I wrote the legislation, that gave us a little more prominence. And now we've evolved into this festival every year, and I hope it continues.
Oh, excellent. It sounds like it's gone.
It's gotten very big. Whitehall is a small town, so we kind of almost shut the town down when it happened. And it's a lot of fun, and it's always great to see fellow researchers and people you only see online and so forth. So it's always great to see them in person. And it's become this really fun event for Whitehall, and I think it's a good example of ecotourism and how this phenomena can be a positive. It doesn't have to be that negative phenomena that we had in the 70s. And I think that has helped evolve this full circle now.
Did that legislation actually go through? Is Whitehall now a protected place?
Yeah, this is part of the Whitehall region. So it was, I guess you would call it a legal stature for the town. And it was basically to bring it worked on multiple levels. It wasn't just we want a protective habitat. I took the Skomania County ordinance that was written years ago, and took one from Port Henry that was written for Champ. And I sort of combined the language into form ours. And so it was a legislation that was passed by the town and the village, and it brings awareness to the phenomena. And it was in honor of Professor Cook, who I studied under at Castleton, who was sort of a pioneer in this type of research. And I think it was just a positive all the way around. It helps the town, and it's real in the sense that the phenomena is we talk about the Algonquin and the Iroquois and the Abenaki and the stone giants and the whole history here. So yeah, it's I think that was part of it, and we've just evolved from then till now, and it's great to see this past one. I think we had probably 4,000 to 5,000 people visited.
Wow.
And it was for a small town, that's a big deal.
Oh yeah.
You mentioned Dr. Cook. We have another question. This is from Nickname. Who in this subject does Paul trust, and does he feel he has made any breakthroughs?
There's certain figures, and if we talk about different topics, let's talk about cryptozoology in general. But he's as knowledgeable as anything. Lauren Coleman up in Maine, Portland, Maine, with the Cryptozoology Museum, International Museum up there. Always a great guy to talk to, and so knowledgeable and understanding. A close friend was Brad Steiger, who's passed away. Brad knew the whole perspective of this phenomena. I work closely with my brother, who's in New Zealand, Robert, and various researchers, Bruce Hallenbeck in Kinderhook, New York, who had his whole family had experiences with Bigfoot phenomena down there. They called the Kinderhook creature. Now that's 10 miles south of Albany, but they had very credible reports down there as well. And so, and there's different documentary people, Seth Breedlove and Jordan Warner and so forth. I would say Lauren is, and people like George Knapp. These are real solid people. Yeah. They've been in this for a long time. They know what they're doing. They've seen this evolve from decade to decade. And these are solid people. When you talk about people like George Knapp, you're talking about Peabody Award winners. So it's a mainstream journalist studying all sorts of phenomena. So it's there's a lot of really good people out there.
Excellent. Just going back, because you said you grew up on a farm. Mm-hmm. Did you ever experience anything whilst growing up there that you didn't have at the time, didn't have any explanation for, and then later on, just whether you worked something out or not?
Yeah, frustrating. No.
Oh no.
I've seen lights that I can't readily explain, but I wouldn't categorize them as UFO sightings. It would have my criteria is a little higher probably than some. I'll listen to people that they might talk about, I heard something walking behind me. I need more than that. I need to actually have a visual sighting if I'm going to categorize it. I think I may have been close on one occasion to some sort of a cryptid, but it's not enough. And so no, the short answer is no. I've documented haunted houses. I've documented the Bigfoot phenomena, the UFO phenomena, and so forth. And no, I've never had firsthand experience that I could say is tangible.
So what got you into it if you haven't had any personal experiences? What did you start?
Right, because of instance that I was always interested in the phenomena, but then to have them in this whole area, have the La Cabana landing that took place on Glen Lake back in 1973 during that UFO flap, that massive UFO flap, and to have the Bigfoot phenomenon occurring in my hometown. I became fascinated with the topics, and I actually went to Castleton. It's Castleton University now. It used to be Castleton State College, where Dr. Cook taught. And that was the reason I went, was to pursue these types of topics.
Cool.
Excellent. I was just going to say, did anyone else, like in your household, have any encounters that they ever spoke to you about?
not particularly, nothing dramatic, put it that way. There were a few, I remember there was a psychic incident, which was kind of interesting. A local psychic had sort of nailed something in terms of getting it right, which seemed almost impossible to get right. And I remember her name was Laura Dunn, and that was very impressive for me. But it wasn't anything that directed me, directly. So no, I would say by and by, we grew up on a farm, and I was haying in the summers, and getting the cows and stuff, and that actually helped us out because in a small community, everybody knew my dad, and we would go to investigate a sighting or past sightings, get back research, and they might be trepidatious towards you, except you say, "Oh, you're Epi's boy? Oh, come on in," that type of thing.
Right.
Kind of growing up in this area, it was kind of a key that allowed us access to information we might not have gotten otherwise. But in short, no, I've never experienced anything that I couldn't readily explain.
No, cool, thank you. There's just a question popped up relevant to what we was just talking about, so I'm going to put it on now. This is again from Nickname. Were there any crop circles, Paul, or animal carcasses?
We had in 1974, there was a mutilated horse up, not on Abear Road, but on a road adjacent to Abear Road. And it was called Dodge Road at the time. And I think that's what it's called now. We used to call it Mary Dodge Road because that was the farm that was on the end. And the horse was fine the day before, and then it was found mutilated.
Yeah.
Where it was missing an ear and a tongue and an eye and so forth. And that was never adequately explained. That was 1974. Now, in terms of crop circles, we had one in Herkimer, New York, a few years ago. I've actually got a piece.
Oh, show and tell. I love this.
I love show and tells.
I'm not sure how this will display, but it's actually in the plastic. But it shows the nodes that were affected or appeared to be affected. And I can tell you the date on that one was July the 26th, 1993, and that was Herkimer County. And so, we've had crop circle phenomena, we've had mutilation reports. Sort of had a whole smorgasbord.
30 years.
Yeah, I can't believe you've got like part of a crop circle in a bag.
Yeah.
And then you've held on to it for 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know, that is not even something that I'd even consider thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
I'd just go look at it and take some photos and go again. What even think about? I do now, but
were there any tests done or anything on it?
The testing that was done I can't give you the direct company, not because I can't give it to you. I don't remember what it was. But it was actually featured in the USA Today in the estates section. And they just mentioned that there seemed to be a high concentration of sodium chloride. And that was, I don't know what's ever become of, I don't think there was anything else done. They determined that there wasn't anything poisonous. There wasn't anything, so they just moved on. But that was, it was also not your traditional crop circle. It was sort of a amorphous shape without any real definition, but it was definitely something that had affected that area.
Do you know if there was any like photos? Sorry, taken of the.
No. I'd have to check the files. I can't remember offhand. I imagine there were. I would think there would have been. Yeah, probably a lot of pictures taken.
Yeah. I was just going to say. Oh, sorry, Paul.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, go on. It's fine.
Oh no, I was just saying in the Glen Lake region, that's where we had the soil. That was 1973, December the 12th. And if you remember, 1973 was an amazing UFO time. On October of 73, October 11th, it was Charles Hickson and Calvin Parker in Pascagoula, Mississippi. And the very famous abduction case took place there. And then a few days later, you had the Coyne helicopter case where Captain Coyne nearly collides, military helicopter nearly collides with an object. And so these are very highly credible UFO cases that occur. And there's a whole spate of UFO sightings in 1973. And we had a landing at the La Cabana restaurant on Glen Lake where two concentric circles appeared in the dirt parking lot of the restaurant owner, then Jack Bergeron. And he said that, or what was reported, there was so much dirt thrown against the door of the restaurant. And I've got a picture. I can pull it out in a minute. When we go to break, I'll pull it out and show it to you. There was so much dirt thrown against the door that they had to get a shovel to get inside of the restaurant. And then when they were inside, the hot water taps ran cold and the cold water taps ran hot. And this occurred for about 3 weeks after the encounter. So you have an effect that is beyond somebody just going up and making a couple of circles or something. We have an effect that took place where no one saw it occur, but the dirt in the parking lot was affected about that deep. It was somewhat hard. And of course, back then it was APRO, the Aerial Phenomena Research Organization. It was a National Investigation Committee on Aerial Phenomena. They would come and investigate. I know there was a lawyer up in Lake George who was investigating at the time, but I don't think anything ever became of it. Back then, you're talking 1973. Obviously, we'd have more laboratory analysis done today, but it was typical of the CE2 cases that Ted Phillips used to investigate, and cases where something had landed and taken off. And it just, it's a very odd thing. But when you think about it, in 1976, 3 years later, when we had the Aber Road incident, we had that same type of UFO landing took place. And oddly enough, that one was, this one is in front of a restaurant that happened to be closed at the time. The one that took place in Whitehall in 1976, when the Aber Road incident was occurring, that took place on the avenues. And that's just where it's an incredibly populated area. So it's almost as if this phenomenon was presenting itself. If it had occurred, for instance, in the Aber Road incident, if the object had landed, a mile to the right, no one would have ever seen it. And the fact that this object landed in a parking lot of a restaurant, just happened to be closed at the time, it just seems like it's showing no respect for, not being detected. It almost doesn't care.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's like it's showing itself, but knowing not to show itself when there's anyone around. It's like, I can do this and there's nothing you can do about it. I can prove I exist, but you won't see it unless I allow that to happen.
It is. It's incredibly interesting, and it's also frustrating. But
Very.
From my point of view, I just want to document it, and we'll see where it goes. Back in the 70s, when that Aber Road incident happened, 1 year before, in 1975, that became a big deal. A year before, no one knew about Cliff Sparks' sighting. Cliff Sparks was the owner of the Skeene Valley Country Club at the time, and Cliff was a friend of our family. He was a former farmer, so he was friends with my dad. He had daughters to the school that I had 4 sisters that went to the school, so we all knew each other. And Cliff, I know Cliff was no nonsense, a straight shooter. And the only reason we got that report was because he knew us. And what happened to Cliff is he's running this golf course. It's a 9-hole golf course at the time. Nowadays it's 18 holes, but it was 9 at the time. And he's taking one of these carts out to green number 1, which is sort of a straightaway. And he gets out there and he has his dog with him. And the dog usually jumps off and runs around and then jumps back on the cart with him. And instead, when he gets out to green 1, there's a creature standing on the green at about 7 feet tall. And the creature has red glowing eyes. And he said, so Cliff got this unique view of the creature that many people don't get. In other words, when you see a creature, a lot of times the creature's looking at you or focused on you. And so you're looking at it from that point of view. Cliff got to see the creature focusing on the dog. The creature was interested in the dog and was peering at the dog. And the dog's behavior, which was normally, rambunctious, became subdued. And the dog just subdued over the edge of the cart while the creature was looking at him. And Cliff said that this vision was unique. He said there was no eye shine, because researchers will tell, that's just eye shine. He said there wasn't any light. There's no light on the cart. There was no light. But he said it was like lasers, like red glowing eyes with, he said, like short dots coming out and pointing directly in line to the dog. And the dog changed. So Cliff got this unique view of the creature that was focused on the dog, not on him. And so I think that's a rather interesting characteristic and one that's important. And Cliff never backed down from that. Now, the other thing is, if someone was to perpetrate a hoax of some sort, you wouldn't put that detail in because it brings so much baggage. But that's exactly what happened. And so for years, we're the only ones that reported on this accurately, because everybody would leave this detail out or that detail. So, I think you have to go back to the witness reports exactly as he describes them, and not go into it expecting it to be something, but report on what they actually see. And so this may be a key as to what's going on. There's something definitely interesting about red glowing eyes. I'm reminded of the Janet and Colin Board's cover to the alien animals. They've all got the red glowing eyes. And I think there might be something to that.
Yeah, well, that was my next question for you. I was going to say, do you think there's something about the red eyes? Do you think it's more evil rather than friendly, or is it just how they are?
I don't know if it's evil or indifferent, or if it's if it's something that obviously, if we go into some of the more dramatic haunting cases, the red glowing eyes are attributed to demonic type of phenomena. I don't know. I'm not real comfortable with all that. I've talked to people who've experienced some negative experiences like that. I'm fully accepting that they're sincere about it. I did know Lorraine Warren because she was in Connecticut. And we used to go down and see her on Halloween gatherings that they would have. And I always got along great with Lorraine. I know people have differing opinions, but she was always very good with me and very straightforward and would give me help on cases and things. And they obviously approached it from a theological point of view. But you can take the Enfield case, and you can take Guy Playfair, another person that really missed that he's passed on here. I used to correspond with Guy occasionally, and Guy Playfair writes about it from a journalistic point of view, from a scientific point of view. The Warrens would write about the same case, and I'm not talking about the movies, but the case. They would write from a theological point of view. They're talking about the same phenomena. It really is a matter of semantics, and whether one is able to, use it better with mass media, whatever. The actual details of the case are phenomenal and interesting and important. And it appears that regardless of which direction you approach it from, theological or scientific, there's a real phenomena here that needs to be studied and documented.
Yeah, I've had a few encounters, but I've only ever had one encounter where the subject had red glowing eyes, and I was driving at the time. It was about 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and it stood outside someone's garage door. You could see the head. The head went straight into the shoulders. I'd say it's about 3.5-4 foot wide. It's probably about no bigger than 6.5 foot tall. It is nearly as wide as it was tall, and I just straight out of there. I didn't. Yeah, it wasn't a good feeling. I wasn't hanging about.
Yeah, no, completely understandable and normal reaction.
Yeah.
I would almost wonder though if like the whole red glowing eyes thing wasn't necessarily saying something's evil or demonic. Maybe it just allows them to see it, you know, different wavelengths than we do.
Absolutely, could be something to do with the nocturnal nature of the phenomena itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look, I'm down for any theory. Let's just let's follow the evidence and see where it leads.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Shall we go for a break now then? Is that okay? And then we've got quite a few more questions for the second half.
Sounds good.
Perfect. Right. Hopefully Paul will still be here when we come back and he'll be able to
Hopefully you
hear
can
us.
hear us.
Yeah, if not, we'll just have to do what I did before. But yeah, we'll be back in 3 minutes. So have your break. See you soon.
Eight, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
We are back.
Maybe.
I think Paul may have gone with Bill.
Maybe.
Hello.
Oh, right. We can hear. Oh, we can hear you, but we can't see you. We had this issue the other week. It was just.
Oh God.
Yeah. But if you're good to carry on as we are, it's entirely up to you.
Sure.
Right, try turning the camera off and back on.
There we go. Can you see me now?
Nope.
Like you're in a cave.
Huh.
Down the rabbit hole.
Oh, why does it do this?
I don't know. I hope everybody caught up on the chat during the break.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit of back and forth going on there.
Oh, I'm
You
glad I
want me to
caught.
try to? You want me to try to re-enter again?
Yeah, you can. If you jump out and jump back in again, it should sort
Okay.
it out. Sorry,
Let's try that.
I don't know what's going on. Right.
I don't know.
You let in the chat, pack your in. It's not funny. Umbra, you're banned.
Very
It's not
funny.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, so do not miss Fridays.
Oh yeah.
If you
Everybody
want to
come on
laugh,
Friday.
if you want to have a laugh, I think it's got to be Friday night, hasn't it? It's completely different to any other podcast or live stream I've done before. It's not like any of them, is it? Would you say?
There will be shenanigans.
Yes.
So come Friday
Definitely.
for shenanigans.
Yep. I'm not sure whose that link is, but there you go. And he's back.
That might be
Can you hear me?
Joe's link.
Yes. We can hear you and we can see you.
Ah, nice. You're back.
Perfect.
Is that allowed?
Yeah.
Might not be getting good reception, honey. Can you go downstairs or no?
Oh no, it's coming in fine here. It's the
No,
audio.
it's all good.
Is
Yeah.
that allowed?
Can you hear us?
Here, try it once more.
How do you get here?
Hi. Oh, they're on.
Email.
Stand by.
Where's your
Technical
fucking email?
difficulties.
Right there.
All right. Coffee.
I'm just gonna mute them while they do
No, you
that.
mute. Oh, there you are. Nope.
Oh,
they're
he's gone again. Matt. Yeah. Depends what they're going to do with that screwdriver, but anyway.
I know. Like, leave it to a
That
woman
was
to
me earlier.
try to fix it. Screwdriver in the mouth.
I was fitting a new video doorbell. I had 2 screwdrivers. Yeah. Don't even know why. I didn't even need one. But yeah, Friday is going to be amazing.
Yes. I'm excited for all 3 of us to be
Hello?
together. And
Yeah.
can you hear us,
Can you
Paul?
hear us? Good? Bad? Indifferent?
Nope, he muted. Can you hear us? No, he can't hear us.
Nothing.
Nope.
No. He's
Oh
gone.
boy.
Oh. Nearly banned him then.
Oh, now it says device is not connected. All right. I don't know what is with this show and like people having weird technical difficulties. You must be on someone's radar.
Me? Oh,
Mhm.
I'm not. Oh, he.
You're the
It's all
common
again.
thread here.
Right. Let's. See, it's not because it's since you joined it all started. It
It isn't
Gonna blame it all on you. It's because you don't protect yourself when you go out investigating. You're bringing all these hitchhikers back. That's what it is.
So we went real quick while we're waiting for him Monday night to the Shanley Hotel for a like paranormal meetup. And my sister went and she said she brought a hitchhiking ghost home because she was in her car on the way back and the volume on her car just kept going down. And she'd fix it, she'd turn it up, she made sure she wasn't touching anything, and it would just go back down.
Oh, wow.
So
I've seen the photos that you put on Facebook, but
that place is crazy.
Yeah. Hi, Paul. Can you hear us?
You can't hear
Hello? No.
No.
We can hear you.
Huh.
Oh.
Can
Anything?
you hear us?
I don't know. I said we can hear you if he can't hear us.
I don't know.
No.
Maybe he can read lips. I don't know if he can see us.
No, I don't know. I don't know what to do because this has never happened before.
No, this is a weird
right.
one.
Nickname, if you're still watching, can you message Paul and ask him to try it without the headphones?
Dogman said Paul use headphones. Is he using headphones? I didn't notice.
He's using them, yeah. Right.
No.
8th time lucky.
No.
Hello. Yes? No?
It's got nothing to do with that. I was just on here for an hour.
You guys, hello?
Just do the live in sign language. I know. Thank you. I know some curse words.
1, 2, 3. No.
Very high, and I can do the alphabet in sign language.
And we could spell everything out.
It'll be a long,
little
long
hard for
night.
the podcast when you upload the audio, though.
Right. And see you. Right, I've just messaged. Right, he's just got me message. Just letting him know that we can hear.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
We can hear you.
I can not hear anything.
Have you got headphones?
Nothing
You have
at all.
headphones? You have headphones? I think that is a universal sign for headphones.
No. No, no headphones. Check audio settings on StreamYard. There we go. That's all I can do is.
Well, while we get this figured out, Rebecca said maybe tell your own personal stories.
Yes, that's my missus.
Is it? Oh, hi.
Yeah. Why is she watching this? She's banned. Not yet. She will be soon, though.
In the doghouse.
Yeah. So, personal. Can't think of anything. Oh, I'll tell you about the red-eyed thing that I've seen. So I was I'd gone for a drive one night, couldn't sleep, and I went up to a place called Rivington, which is it's just outside Manchester, a place called Bolton, and it's on the West Pennine Moors. So I'd gone driving over, and sorry, one sec. Can you hear us, Paul?
No, I'm afraid I can't hear anything.
Nothing. No, we can hear
Volume's
and see
up
you.
high. Settings, I try it again here.
Yeah. Well, he does that. I'll just quick. Sorry, so I'm driving down, and there's like reservoirs and flatland and forests and all that kind of stuff. I'm driving down and coming down the main road, and there's one house right in front. It's just single house, and it's had a white garage door. And as I'm driving, I can see the shape of the head, the shoulders, and it's like I said before, it was really big and bulky. And the eyes were like, so where it says live in the top corner, it was like fire engine red. It was like bright red. And I had to drive down to this house, and then the road went into a fork, left and right. If it had gone right, I'd have drove right in front of where it was. So I did the left and just put my foot down and was gone. There was no way I was hanging about.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
So, yeah, I didn't go back there for quite a while. But I know people that go up there investigating, and I know people that go investigating and they've had encounters very similar to what I seen.
They see the red eyes and everything.
Yeah, there's like wild men and all that up that way. But I know somebody else who, when we'd gone up there, so I'm just trying to find his thing. I'm going to send him the link again. Right, there we go. We'd gone up there for the day, and we was going back to the car, and my mate went, well, we just gone for a walk. We'd gone walking his dog around one of the reservoirs, and he went, did you see that? Did you see that? Then I went, no. He went, what was it? He went, it looked like a cow with wings. It was as big as a cow, but it was laying. So it was a dry stone wall, and it dropped down and gone behind. I didn't say anything. I'm like, oh, we'll go and have a look. I'm like, no, you're all right. It was when I couldn't get in the car quick enough. It was just didn't feel right. I don't know what it was. Like I said, I didn't see it.
Is that any like known cryptid? Like that's something like a cow with wings? That you've heard
the
of?
only thing, pterodactyl. I don't know. Pterodactyl, Mothman, Owlman. That's all I can think of. Right.
Let's see.
Hello? Any better? So
this is going to be some real fun audio to upload. And I've heard of us going, can you hear us?
Yeah. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I'm just thinking. I've sent him a new link. Doesn't seem to be working. Do you think just getting back on another time? I don't really want him to go, but
no, I
can't
don't.
think
But
of
I
any
feel
way.
bad. Yeah, I feel bad that he keeps popping in and popping out.
Let's try something else. Let's go to.
I don't know. I'm going to go on while you're doing that. Cow with wings cryptid. Let's see if it's a thing.
Yeah, see, I have had a look.
You looked for it and there you couldn't find anything?
Never ever found anything.
There's some Scottish water cows.
No. Oh, we have not a chance. Ain't modding. No. We've got water buffalo back in the UK.
Yeah.
They use it to help with the irrigation for all the streams and lakes and that. They're getting all the like plants and all that at the bottom that's clogging it all up. So they're using them to go in and clean it all out. And I was driving past the field the other week and thought, that's a big bull. And then the horn just went all the way up and right round. And I Googled it, and it's like water buffalo. Apparently they're bringing them back in to help with the irrigation. So I've seen quite a few. It's weird. It's like, never even knew you had them, and seen loads in like 1 week.
Yeah, that's interesting. We just have regular cows. And if you see a cow when you're driving, you're required to say cow.
Yep. Oh.
It's back again.
Back.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Oh.
No.
Yeah. Can't hear anything.
Nothing. Right. Let me.
Yeah, it might just be better to
Yeah.
have him come on another time.
No, can't hear anything. Can't hear.
No.
Yeah.
the thing is, I can't even restart it because if I restart it, everything gets lost.
Yeah.
We lose the full thing.
Gotta love
No.
technology when it's not working properly.
Right. 1 minute. Joe, I'm going to add you. Don't say anything. Don't do anything. Just sit there and be you. In fact, Joe, count to 4 for me, please. If you don't mind. Sounds stupid, but it's
1,
test.
2, 3, 4.
Right. So Joe's working.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Joe.
We
Bye-bye.
kicked her back out.
Yeah. It's got to be Paul's connection.
I would guess.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're going to have to end it with Paul because it just isn't working. It's really bad because it was a great show. Well, it is a great. It's always a great show. We're on it. Of course, it's great. Yeah. I'll just get him back on because I have. Oh, can't speak. As I was saying to you before, Cole, I'm not getting the guests coming on like I was booking them. It was like getting to the point where it's 12 months in advance.
Yeah.
And now I've got January covered,
Mhm.
Fridays in February, and 1 date in March. The rest of it is empty.
I got a whole
So-
list for you. I keep adding to it. That one that I
I
sent you
know.
over.
What we need to do is need to sit down, do a video chat, and work out who we can get on and when, and then I'll share the
Mhm.
calendar and all that. Paul's just writing back to me, so
All right.
yeah, we'll sort that out anyway. So sorry about this, everyone. Do apologise. It's just one of them things, as you know, if you regularly watch live streams, that stuff like this happens, and it's happened to me. It's when the Wild Bill was on. We couldn't see him, and then as
That's
soon as
why
we
Anthony
finished,
brought on
video
a co-host. So
Sorry?
you didn't have to talk to so that's why you brought on co-host, so you didn't have to talk to yourself when that happens.
well, yeah, there is that. But with Wild Bill, and we couldn't see him, and then he video messaged me straight after, and it was fine. So it wasn't his phone. I don't know what's going on. But when I was on Alex and Elaine's show on Sunday, the link they sent me, I clicked on it. It says, Google will not authorize this link because of blah, blah, blah. I can't remember what it said. I'm like, oh. So I had to come out of it and go on it through Safari.
That's weird.
All right, just laughing at Brian's last message. So sorry, I can see you, but after the break there was no audio. I recently went with no audio. I wanted to my friends. Yeah, most probably. Yeah, sorry about this. Right.
Do you have your UFO video still queued up?
No. Oh, well, no, because they're on the hard drive and it's not plugged in because I've moved the studio around. So I've got the hard drives under the desk, but the wire doesn't reach the PC. So I need to get a USB extension. So at the moment I've not. So yeah, I wasn't set up for any of this happening. But let's see what questions we did have. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a photo, so then we can, hopefully he will come back on. Right. Yeah. So on Friday, I'm not singing nothing. On Friday, there's me, there's you, and there's Tommy. And we are going to be on. You good to come on at 3 p.m. your time.
Yep.
Yep. And it's going to be, we're going to do a Q&A roundtable. We're going to talk about the paranormal and all different accounts, things you've encountered, Tommy's encountered, and myself. Hopefully you guys will be asking us questions of what we're covering, but we're going to be answering the questions differently. That is all I can say without... If you expand on that, that'll give too much away, won't it?
That was already a pretty big hint.
Yeah. Yeah. So
We're going to be answering them in sign language.
yeah.
Podcasters, but he's
So have you any questions? Do you have any questions?
See, I have a question. Oh, Paul's back, maybe.
No, I just re-added him. I just seen an orb go around the back of your head then.
So this question from UFO Joe. What is the Betz spear? He asked, Paul, what do you know about the Betz spear? And since you mentioned J. Allen Hynek, do you think he was involved in the disappearance of that sphere? Do you know what that sphere is? Because I haven't heard of it.
No, never heard of it. I know of Hynek because I interviewed his son Paul. He's friends with Earl Grey, and he came on a few months ago. Right, Paul is going to come back on. We'll chat again. Happy holidays to you both. Hope you're all feeling better. Take care. Right.
Okay.
So, yes, unfortunately.
The Betz sphere was a metal sphere with an approximate diameter of 8 inches, weighing nearly 22 pounds, uncovered in 1974 by a family in Florida. They first thought it was a cannonball left from New World conquistadors, and the sphere seemed to react to sounds. It made a throbbing noise. Later, the sphere was noticed to roll on its own and even stop on its own and change directions. They started doing experiments with the sphere and noticed it would reverberate when hit with a hammer. So obviously not a cannonball.
Well, no. Oh?
That's interesting.
Can you hear that?
And apparently at some point it disappeared.
Can you not hear that noise? No? Every time you spoke, it was like a heavy breathing, like dog, like growly cough type thing.
My dogs are not in here. They are locked out right now. Is it still happening?
No, it stopped now. So, right. So these are, Paul's just sent me some pictures now. So that one where he took that blade of grass from the crop circle. So there's the actual place where it was taken from.
Wow, that's small for like a crop circle.
Yeah, well, I thought it was going to be a lot bigger than that.
Yeah.
And there's that one. And then the other one is Mysterious Visit Puzzles Authorities.
Like a newspaper.
Do you want me to read this out?
Yeah, read it.
Right, so Jack Bergeron tried to keep quiet about the state of his restaurant's parking lot Wednesday morning when a bar owner reports something out of the ordinary. Bergeron said people think he's flipping his lid, loaded ore and packed down almost like concrete. Outside the circle, the dirt was rough and gouged with a bit of parking lot dirt parked up against a restaurant. He said dirt had to be shoveled from the doorway to the restaurant. Strangest of all was the way his plumbing started acting up. For the last few days, the hot water was cold and the cold water was hot. He disagrees the implication that it was just a coincidence of it happening when that happened. So,
wow,
that's very, that's me That's me reading. 8 reading on camera. 8 reading out loud. Right. Oh, here's a question for you. So this is from Nickname. Any new orbs in your room, Nicole? Heard you say before people catch them passing behind.
It's funny because Nickname couldn't see the conversation before, right? Before we went live?
No, there's only me, you, and Joe in there.
Okay. So right before we went live, there was a giant orb that passed like behind me and went that way. So I'm looking to see if there's a bug or anything here. There wasn't anything. It was huge. And of course it wasn't recording.
Right, I've just add. That's a long. So that Bet's orb. It's a lot to read, but that's pretty much the size of it.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting that like this thing, I wonder what it was.
What? Behind you or?
No, the sphere.
Oh, the actual, yeah. Yeah, that is. That's right.
I don't know what the orb was. It was probably our ghost. We call him Mr. Tom because that's what he said his name was.
Oh.
He likes to. I have this little touch lamp.
Yeah.
And it goes on and off by touch, and it goes off randomly by itself sometimes. The only way to turn it on and off is touching the button.
Yeah. Oh. Sorry, I'm just going to copy and paste this. Right.
Think about the sphere?
Yeah. So I'm going to put it on my Facebook. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just going through the notes now. Right. So this is from Bim Jim. I'm going to ask you this one. So he's asking, why are the aliens messing with us?
I don't know that they're messing with us. I think they're just doing their thing. I don't really think they care that much.
Do you think we're some sort of like game to them, or?
Yeah, maybe like, a kid would like mess with an ant farm. Like, it's just kind of like you watch it, you maybe like mess with it, but for the most part, it doesn't really affect your day to day.
No.
What do you think?
Yeah, so I think the same because I've seen UFOs and that, and it affected me at the time as it was happening, but literally within a minute or so, I just carried on to doing what I was doing anyway. Like the time I was on my bike, the time I was driving home from work, the time I went in the back garden. That was the creepiest one, was in the back garden because it was there. Then I went out the next morning, it was there again. But I didn't stop doing anything. I just stopped going in the back garden for a few days. But I carried on doing what I'd normally do. I'd go to the shop, I'd watch TV. Do you know what I mean? Didn't sit there and constantly think about it. So I don't know.
That's not a ghost.
You got a full body apparition behind you.
I know, right? That's that was my son, and it's actually his birthday on Friday.
It's on Friday.
Yep. So after we get off the live stream, we'll be going to dinner. He'll be 15.
Wow. Wait till the 30.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, goes so fast.
I know.
Yeah.
See what else we got in the comments.
Yeah, so I just follow up to that. Some humans think that the aliens run this planet. I do believe that it is being run by non-humans, should we say? Excuse me. Yeah.
I think the people in power are in power because they allow them to be.
Yeah.
These much more intelligent species and everything.
Yeah,
they
there's definitely somebody else. Yeah, definitely somebody else pulling the strings.
because you get somebody in there that's like a wild card. It's going to release all this information that shouldn't be out to the public right now, according to powers that be.
Yeah. Yep. Right, I'm going to clear these questions because they're the ones for Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so as I was saying, in the new year, once the guests start dwindling out, but once the guests start dwindling out of coming on the show, we're still going to have guests coming on, but it's not going to be as regular. It's not going to be 2 a week. Numerous reasons. So we are going to be covering topics. So each week we're going to cover, say, Loch Ness Monster, Denver Airport. I'm just trying to think things off the top of my head.
Oh, I love Denver Airport.
Yeah. Do you think Huska Castle in Czech Republic? But if there's anything you guys in the chat want us to cover, let us know, and we can either, between the 2 or the 3 of us, we can it'll give us a week to research it, and then we'll come back with whatever we've got, or you can give us a subject each, so then we've got 3 different topics to talk about. So
Subjects are good.
get your lists ready.
Documentaries are good. Give us some documentaries to watch and talk about.
Oh yeah, anything on Discovery Plus. I don't know if Disney have any documentaries on there.
Probably not. Disney's very mainstream. What are they going to talk about? Disney in this cryogenic vault?
Oh yeah, and you know he's supposed to be upstairs. Is it above number 13? That's where his body's supposed to be in his giant tube. Walt Disney.
Above where?
So he's supposed to be on. I've never been to Disney World, so I don't know. But the first house that you go to, where the entrance is to Disneyland, he's supposed to be upstairs in the house, and where he's positioned. This is a urban myth, conspiracy theory. He's supposed to be positioned so he can see people entering the park.
I haven't heard that one. I know there's like a
kind
of secret private club up there in one of those houses on Main Street. But I haven't heard that Walt Disney himself is there. That's my other specialty, Disney and ghosts.
Yeah. So so we're going to be doing like different things, but yeah, he's supposed to be like upright in this clear, like suspended animation, so we can watch people coming into his theme park.
You know what I'm doing after we hop off here, right?
You're gonna Google it.
Yep.
Yep. I'll get his asking, did you miss a chat with the person that wrote the book Shape of Things to Come? No. He had to postpone. I was going to pre-record it earlier today, but he was out and wasn't going to get back in time, and the only time that he could do was half an hour ago. And if I'd have known that, I could have just brought him on and the clock because Paul couldn't come on. So I'm gonna, it's Chris Evers. So I'm gonna be interviewing him at some point next week, and then that's going to be going out in the new year because that's going to be a pre-record, I think. Just depends the time and when and availability and all that. So we've got a date set-ish, but nothing in stone.
Everybody wants Inner Earth.
Yes.
Inner Earth.
Giants.
Yes, giants.
Yes. Yeah, but I'm going to look on... I'm not going to Google it. I'm going to go on the other search engines just to see what it comes up with.
Yeah, because Google filters stuff.
Yeah, it's very limited.
Pretty heavily. Especially any type of conspiracy or anything like that. They just don't show up.
No. And it does it all the time. And were you saying about the videos, UFO videos and all that lined up? When I put that out, because the the channel is monetized, and it is. It's like just for it's Google ads. Google ads won't use that for monetization because of the
because of
content.
the.
Yes. So
I'm surprised
but
they put it in at all with all this weird stuff being talked about.
yeah. But if we got any topics that nobody else has spoken, or not no one else has spoke about, but nobody else has covered much, you might just dip into it and then move away from it straight away. I want something that we can get right.
Atlantis.
Yes.
I love Atlantis.
So it's I think some put the dark side of the moon, inner Earth, giants. Oh, there we go. Question for you from nickname. Has Nicole set up a cam in the room to capture orbs?
I have not, but when I've been a guest on podcasts, I've had some equipment set up in the back while we were chatting, and it's gone off. The cat
It did
balls, the REM
when you
pod.
first came on. They was going off all the time, and
Yeah.
we seeing orbs and all that.
Yeah, we had a lot of stuff going on in this room, mostly in the bathrooms for some reason. The upstairs bathroom. It's a lot of stuff. I have that door slammed behind me. And I'm so desensitized to it from investigating all the time. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
Let's not slam doors.
Nope. Yeah, I won't be going in that room again. No matter how desperate I'd need it. I just find somewhere else. What really happened to the sub at the Titanic
We
earlier
touched
this
on
year?
that very briefly when we were talking to Al.
Yes. Yeah.
But
Because
that'd be a good one to go into.
Yeah, because that was weird how that just the people that were on it and then it vanished, and then they didn't bother going to check where it was, and they went to the wrong area, even though they know where the Titanic is, and it shouldn't have been that difficult to find.
And the Navy heard supposedly the implosion on radar.
Yeah.
So they knew what happened to it. But why did they let everybody continue to search for a week?
Days, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And they could hear knocking coming from the inside of the container. Do you really think that them people were in that sub?
Nope.
I think it was empty.
Maybe. I mean, there were really, really rich and powerful people on there.
Yes. It was like 2 of them were billionaires. There's 5 in total, and the other 3 were owners, directors of all these different companies set around the world.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Joe said the Meg ate it.
Ugh, yes.
Well, Megalodon's a good one too.
Yeah, I got offered to go on a show to talk about Megalodon.
Did you?
Yeah, I turned it down.
Why?
Because I don't know anything about sharks.
So you learn it.
But so I because I said to the guy, when I'm not being rude or anything like that, I don't know enough to talk about it. All I could give you at the moment is the Meg is an ancient shark that's supposed to be bigger than all the other sharks, and it might still exist.
Yeah, and they keep finding teeth that
no, but that was all
supposedly aren't as old as they're supposed to be. So people keep thinking that they exist somewhere down in the deep ocean.
Yeah. Yes. I think we need to do a proper one on the giant of Kandahar. Definitely got to do that. That's just from the very first time I heard that on a podcast, it was like, oh, I need to know everything there is about this. Because this was only, 15, 20 years ago, if that?
Yeah, something like that.
Yep. So.
Ancient civilizations. UFOjo. 100%.
Yes.
That is one that I am very, very into. The ancient civilizations, Atlantis, the fact that the whole humans as a civilization have existed before and then got wiped out.
Yeah. But then I don't always think that they did get wiped out. I think some of them, they may have died out through illness and disease and maybe even starvation. And because of how remote everywhere was back then, it was more difficult to, well, I won't say more difficult. It was other communities wouldn't know that these other communities existed until they started moving around, and then they'd find the remains of them. But there's the one, I can never remember the name of it. They went to, I don't think it was Alaska. It might have been. I know it was like Northern America. And they got there and all this tribe were gone. But this is a weird thing. There was food and fruit and like meats and all that. That was all it was all rotting. There was like, say, like meat stew in these pans and cauldrons that are on these fires. These fires had only gone out, say, a day or so before. But all the food was that bad it had gone off, and it was in a cold climate. So it shouldn't have gone off because of the freezing temperatures.
Yeah.
But then fires should have been just not like still smouldering.
Yeah, it should have been cold.
There's that about 60 plus people just gone, and it's like all the clothes were left there, the huts that they'd built, equipment for hunting, tools, weapons, all that kind of stuff.
That's interesting.
So,
the missing villagers, like Roanoke. I don't know if that's so much. You don't know about Roanoke?
No.
Do you watch American Horror Story?
No.
They did a whole season on it. It was
right.
a village in Virginia where the early settlers were, and then they came back and everybody was gone, and there was just one word like etched into a tree or something. It was Croatoan.
Oh, yes.
No idea where they went.
Yes.
Whole village just disappeared.
But wasn't it they'd gone over from Europe, gone over to America, and it took something like, is it 18 months to sail across or something? It was, or a year. It was a long time to sail over. So they went and they said, right, we need to go back. They couldn't take people and supplies. So they took a load of people and some supplies. And he said, look, we need to go back to get more supplies, and we'll bring a few more people that want to come back. If you all start getting settled and build the village in that, when we come back, and then we'll do it. It was 18 months. It took 18 months for them to come back. They came back. Everything was there, but there was all missing. Yeah, and there's that word etched into a tree, but they think that the word wasn't completed.
Oh, I don't know about the word not being complete.
Or it might have been written backwards. There's like a bit of a coded message. There's like 3 or 4 different theories.
Yeah, because some people say that they got killed by the Native Americans. Some people are saying they integrated with the Native Americans, and then some people say something mysterious wiped out that whole village.
Yeah, because he said it could have, like the other one, it could have been some sort of disease or virus or something. But thing is, we weren't there. We don't know. We're just guessing. But another one that I love talking about is the Dyatlov Pass.
What?
The Dyatlov Pass with the Russian hikers. There was 9 of them, and the bodies were found a few days later. They was doing an expedition somewhere in Siberia. Oh no, weren't Siberia. No, it might have been. I can't remember where it was. And then they was all found, like there's a little hole ripped in a tent, and it was ripped open from the inside. And then someone was found halfway up a tree. Someone was found at the bottom of a tree 4 weeks later with their eyes and tongue missing, and
Oh my god.
yeah,
That's a
the
gruesome
Atlas
one.
Pass. Yeah, that.
But this is why we need a time to research people, because we
Yeah.
can't remember everything off the top of our heads. Too much paranormal, cryptid, conspiracy stuff stuffed
Overload.
in there.
Yeah.
Philadelphia experiment.
Yeah. See, that I think that, well, it was part of the original MK Ultra, but that Philadelphia experiment was part of Montauk. It was the same people that was doing that. It was Summit Nichols. I can't think. David Nichols. I remember the surname Nichols. He was one of the main guys that was doing it, and he was part of MK Ultra. And he had input with the Philadelphia experiment, and then I know he was one of the main guys over at Montauk with the Montauk Monster. So yeah, I love all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. A lot of good things coming in the comments. We're going to be busy for a while with all these topics.
I don't think we'll need many guests without being horrible. But I think I'm going to do guest overload in January. So for those that don't know, I did have the picture up behind for a while. And someone asked me to change it, so I did, because I'm nice like that. So this is the 25-hour live stream. They're just some of the guests that are coming on, including yourself.
Well, I can't see.
Sorry?
Said we can't see. Can you pop us out for a second?
Oh,
Or
yeah,
on the
yeah.
side?
Oh.
We're back. I popped us back in.
Yeah, so that's some of the guests that are coming on. It's starting on Thursday, the 25th of January at 8 p.m. and it's going to end on the 26th of January at 9 p.m. So I've booked them 2 days off work. Then the Saturday, it's my birthday. Then I'm going out the Saturday night. We're going to a comedy gig on the Sunday night. And because I'm really, really clever, I booked the Monday off work as well.
You're going to need it after
no
all that.
way. Yeah, there is. The Monday, I'm just going to sleep. Yeah. So
that's going to be a good one, though. You're just going to be like, by the end of it, you're going to be like ridiculously out of it.
Just delusional.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got obviously Earl Grey, George Mitrovic. George is coming on with. So George is in New South Wales in Australia. He's going to be coming on with a guy who is based in New Zealand. So that should be a good combo. A lot of the people that you can see here are coming on with other guests. So it's kind of like people are going to be dipping in and out throughout, because there's going to be a few co-hosts as well as me and yourself and Tommy. And Chris Evers is going to co-host. Michael Kopf is going to co-host. Tommy. Yeah, and there's other people that have been added to it since. So yeah, it's going to be
fun.
Yeah, I think fun is that a word? I think when it was like in my head and I was just thinking about it and trying to work out how it can be done, I thought, yeah, it's a good project.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm
now
thinking
it's all
like
planned.
those old school telethons.
Yeah, but now it's all planned. Yeah, now it's all planned and ready. I'm like, what am I actually doing? I should be all right. A few coffees, I'll be fine.
Yeah, just pound a couple Red Bulls, you'll be good.
Yeah. Pro Plus. Mm-hmm. You're laughing. Well, probably crying, but yeah. You any questions or anything? Oh, what for done?
Oh,
no, I'll put that one back on.
And the background went down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, I pressed the wrong button. It's fine. Yeah. Oh, I was going to say, are you on Friday? Oh my God, I don't even know what day it is. Yes, she's on
I'll
Friday.
Think about it. Yeah, we will be here.
get your questions in on Friday. In fact, do you know what? Thinking about it, shall we do a little research between now and then? And we'll pick a topic each.
Yeah. That
Right.
sounds
The
good.
first person to write Nicole's name gets to give a topic. The first person to write my name gets to pick me a topic.
And we got to pick
And
one
it
for
can't be the
Tommy
same
too.
person, Joe.
You need a topic for Tommy too.
Yeah. Right. Oh, yeah. And one for Tommy. Right. So I'm going to go with what Dogman says. Oh, right. 1 second. I'm sorry. I'm just reading through. Right. So, yeah, I'm going to go with what Dogman says. Make it fair. No offense, Joe, but you do have a lot of input and you're a mod. So, yeah.
All right.
Burn
And
out, as you
then
say.
Bim Jim.
Right. So I'll go with Dogman. You
Topic
go
for
with
me.
Bim Jim. Yeah.
Hmm.
And then we need one for Tommy. So
Tommy.
first person to write Tommy. Come on, come on. Quick, quick, quick.
Anxiously awaiting my topic.
Yeah. Oh, so you want to do werewolf? Right, nicknames Tommy. Right, I need to write these down.
Tommy has
Wow.
Inner Earth.
Yeah. God, I'm speaking to Tommy tomorrow. So.
Bim's thinking of a good one.
Yeah. Right, so Dogman. I've got a few stories about Dogman, short werewolves. And I'm going to say weird thing, it's not weird, but my favourite movie is American Werewolf in London. Yeah, so we're just waiting for your topic.
Yeah.
Come on, come on, Bim Jim. Yay, great taste.
This is fun.
Yeah, so this will be good. This will be a good start.
Yeah.
And I think how it goes Friday will kind of like level itself for next year, don't you reckon?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
It'll
Yeah.
usher in the new year. I have Species of Aliens. That's a good one.
There you go. Right.
Be
I've
prepared
wrote
for
them down.
a full book report.
I'll write them down and I'll put them in the text and just so that we don't forget.
Tommy did not consent to
Or a
this.
recap.
We volunteered him.
Yeah, but what we'll do, we'll keep a mental note of who's given us what topic. So then the next time we do it, another 3 people can choose and so on and so on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think Tommy will be too upset with Inner Earth.
No. Wonder if he'll want a swap. No, I'm all right. Yeah, I know he loves Inner Earth because we was talking about it the other day, weren't we? So yeah, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be really good.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And everybody start thinking about questions because it's a Q&A.
Yes. So get your questions in.
The better.
Inner Earth, Werewolf, Dogman, and Alien Species. So
yes, I say the weirder the better, but keep it clean.
Yeah. But the thing is with this as well, obviously we can only research what we can find like on the internet or in books or whatever. So a lot of it is going to be our own personal opinion. Like I said, I do have some stories that I've heard or read or I've been told about dogmen and werewolves. So, yeah, I can cover that as well.
Too bad they didn't pick pterodactyl for you.
I know. There we go.
There are 10 to the 20th power habitable planets in the universe. It's just statistical. That's a hard word. certainty that there are alien species more intelligent than humans. This is according to our current science. That's what it's going to be all Friday. It's just me trying to say statistical.
Yes. Or me trying to pronounce 4-letter states in America. Just can't do it. Joe was going to say
Ohio earlier.
Oh, Ohio. I have to do it with a bit of an American twang. Ohio. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm getting summoned to go downstairs.
Uh-oh.
There we go.
Aww.
Dreammeister. Right. Well, shall remove that.
Mm-hmm. You better get to it.
That is a good one from Baby with a Laser. In your lifelong search for existence of aliens, has it occurred to you to look behind you? Just there. And there. And if I move, there's one hiding behind the chair.
Oh, and you got a one in a little red jacket over there, too.
Yes. Mr. E.T. Shame I'd not got the one with the bicycle, but it's still good. It's still that was a good shout that on eBay. That was really good. So, right, have you anything you want to add before we end tonight's show?
No, just to remind everybody, tune in Friday. You are not going to want to miss it. And if you miss it, you're going to be really sad that when you watch it in replay. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you think it might go over the 2 hours? But obviously not, because you're going out for a meal, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes, but it'll probably be
maybe 5 minutes, but
yeah. You know how that goes. Right. You say 2, and then by the time you look at it, it's like 2:30 or 2:40. I'm like, oh my god, what time is it?
Yeah, pretty much. Right, so I'm gonna go because
you've been summoned.
Yes, pretty much. I'm definitely going on them comments. Right, thank you everyone for staying in. I'm so sorry that Paul could not stay on.
I'm glad we got an hour with him though.
Yeah. It wasn't like it was just 5 minutes or anything, but I'll be arranging with Paul to come back on. We're going to be getting some new and different guests coming on in the new year. That's pretty much it. So have a wonderful 2 days. Do not forget Friday, 8 o'clock.
Yeah. We're going to do the research between now and then and talk about your topic.
We've got like 22 hours to find some stuff. Yeah. So I'm just going to listen to podcasts tomorrow and Friday. Because I drive around all day, I just, podcast player. That's it. So
I'm starting right after I look up Walt Disney.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. Yeah, but just look, what room is Walt Disney in? So you got to type, and then it'll all come up. Right, I'm gonna end this now. Paul will be back soon. Just unfortunate, the way of technology, it's just crap at the minute. So have a wonderful 2 days, and please, please, please do not miss Friday's show. You will be gutted if you do.
You will be.
Right. Have fun, guys, and see you then. Good night and take care. Bye-bye.